Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh my god. I'm sick, so we are gonna get through this video as best we can with my very groggy voice. I do not usually sound like this. Last year in 2021, I think I DNFed 6 books, and this year I only DNFed 4 books. And I was like, 4 books really isn't enough to like make a full video on, so I went to Instagram. Did you DNF any books this year? If so, what were they? So then I could kind of talk to you guys about what y'all DNFed along with what I DNFed. I feel like I've gotten really good about DNFing books that I don't want to read. DNFing stands for did not finish. And I usually get to the 40 to 50% mark before I decide, okay, I'm not going to finish this book. We're going to start off with a bang. The first book that I DNFed this year was Where the Crawdads Sing. I know that is a shock to a lot of people because it's a very beloved book. And some of you guys might get really mad at me. At the time that I picked up Where the Crawdads Sing, I was in a big reading slump. And I don't think that was the right book to pick up at the time. So when I got like 50% through and we were still describing what the marsh looked like, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. And I did not finish. But I think that's like a soft DNF. Like I kind of want to read that, but in the future. Like I'm not in any rush, and I still own it, you know? So probably will read in the future, but it wasn't a good pick at the time. The next book that I DNF'd was Heartless by Marissa Mayer, and I think I've just realized that I'm not a big Alice in Wonderland fan. I used to love Alice in Wonderland. I've tried to read multiple Alice in Wonderland retellings, and I haven't liked any of them. Got 45% of the way through, wasn't enjoying it, so I just stopped reading it. I'm gonna lower you guys just a little bit. Don't mind me. Okay. The third book that I DNF'd was 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. I'm not gonna lie, I got about 2 chapters in and DNF'd it, so I probably could pick this one up in the future, but I don't know. When I picked it up, the main character was just so annoying. So annoying and like insufferable, and I couldn't, like, again, I only got 2 chapters in, so maybe she gets better. For what I read of the book, I just was not a fan. If you've read it and you liked it, let me know and maybe I'll pick it back up. See, my portion of this video is really short. The last book I DNF'd was I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. I've loved other Casey McQuiston books. I think this one just wasn't for me. It was too young. The main character was just extremely aggravating. It's almost like young adult authors want to write the young characters as annoying as fuck. Most teenagers are not this annoying. I know that teenagers can be annoying, but like we all were teenagers at one point. I don't think anyone was as bad as the main characters in some of these YA books. So yeah, I had to stop. It was bad. It was like some mystery almost about Shara Wheeler. She like disappeared, but she had like kissed all of these different people and left like secret notes for them. I don't know. It just wasn't good. My portion of the video is done. I only DNF'd 4 books this year, which I think is pretty good out of 100 books. I asked you guys on Instagram, on my Bookstagram, about some books that you guys DNF'd, and I'm gonna read them out loud. I'm not gonna say anyone's name, but if you are from my Bookstagram and you commented, hello, I love you. The first one, I Killed Zoe Sopranos. I don't even think I've heard of that one. Let me look it up. Oh yeah, this one's young adult. I couldn't get into it. No. And I'm a big, I think this is a like don't judge a book by its cover kind of thing, but I look at the ratings on Goodreads, and this one has 3.8 for a young adult, so I probably just wouldn't pick it up. But I'm sorry that you didn't like it, and I'm sorry that you DNF'd it. But honestly, I feel like DNFing is a superior mindset because you DNF books because you're like, no, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time reading this book that I don't enjoy. So happy that you DNF'd that. Someone said Dance of Thieves, and that makes me a little nervous because I'm reading Dance of Thieves in the next like week or so. I'm going to take it on the plane with me when I go home for the holidays. So we'll see. I can't really disagree or agree with you on that one. Someone said The Hawthorne Legacy. This is actually on my Ah, the Hawthorne Legacies book number 2. Okay, I was really confused there for a second. So you read the first one, maybe you liked it, and then wanted to pick up the second one and then DNF'd it. But I feel like that's pretty typical. You get through the first book, you're like, okay, could I see myself reading the next book? And you're like, yeah, I could. And then what if you don't like the second book, you know? The first book's usually always the best one in my opinion. The next one was Normal People. And what's funny is I actually have no interest in reading Normal People. I've heard such good things and so many people have recommended it and have said that I should read it, but there's not an ounce in me that is interested in reading this book. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. They said the writing style was so blasé that I couldn't connect with the book. I can imagine that. Like, thinking about the book Normal People, I can imagine why you DNF'd it. I haven't even read it, and I'm like, yeah, I would DNF it too. So, The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, very repetitive and the story never went anywhere. I don't know much about this book, but like, why is it the same freaking title as 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo? You know? So, that's all I have to say. Someone DNF'd Love in Other Words, and I'm not mad at it, honestly. Like, Love in Other Words wasn't my favorite book this year, so I can kind of agree with this. I mean, no, I can't agree with it. Like, I read the whole thing and I loved it and I gave it 4 stars, and I'm sorry that you didn't like it. I feel like that kind of story anyway, second chance romances can go either way for me. Like, I could love it or I could really hate it because of what tore them apart to begin with, you know? So I kind of understand, but I want to know why you didn't read it. I want to know why you didn't like it. Let me know. Another person said The Atlas 6, and I'm actually surprised I didn't DNF this one because I didn't like it. I read it last year and the characters were really unlikable. Even by the end, the plot was like really confusing. So I didn't love that one either. I don't know why I finished it because I'm not picking up the second one. This is another one that I'm kind of conflicted by because I want to read this really bad. I have it on my TBR shelf. So you telling me that you DNF'd it kind of makes me nervous, but I really want to read it. So I'm going to give it a shot anyway. And then another person said Babel. She felt like it was overhyped and she couldn't connect with it. That is on my TBR. I want really bad to read it, and I'm kind of hoping that I like it. Was it because it was like really dense? Or like, I don't know anything about the book. Is it a really big book? I think so. I just read Empire the Vampire and I'm wanting like a really dense fantasy book to fill that void. And someone also said they almost DNF'd Deadly Education, but they ended up reading the whole thing. So I've not read Deadly Education. I'm pretty sure that's from Naomi Novik, and I did not like Uprooted, so I probably wouldn't even pick up another book of hers. I DNF'd Uprooted last year. I could probably see why you DNF'd Deadly Education. And this is just a friendly reminder that you're allowed to DNF books. If you're not enjoying them, put them to the side. Try again later. It's not a bad thing. I feel like I used to beat myself up about it. Don't waste your time on a book that you don't want to read, okay? Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.